You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel, and you're Locked On Phillies Postcast. It's great to have you along for the ride. First and foremost, before we jump into the nitty-gritty of it all, thank you so much for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube as well, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This particular episode is brought to you by Supply House. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com. What a win it was for the Phillies. Now, let me just start with this. The lineup comes out, okay? You know, JT Realmuto goes out there last night, and JT Realmuto just happens to hit two separate 3-run home runs. JT Realmuto just happens to go out there and drive in 7 runs, including an RBI ground out in the 9th inning of last night's game to cap off the scoring for the Phils. And JT Realmuto just also happened to gun down a runner or try to take a bag from him there at third base. And Rob Thomson, with a struggling team, offensively speaking, then decided to go, the guy with 7 RBIs, get out of here. Have a seat on the bench. We don't need a guy that drove in 7 runs in a game. Hey, Garrett Stubbs, grab a bat, son. Put on the gear. You're starting behind home plate tonight, and you're going to be catching Kolby Allard in today's ball game in Kansas City as we desperately try to do something that we have struggled mightily in the last month and a half of the season. You know what that thing is? It's not just winning a game. You could just roll it out there and be like, well, it's tough to even win a game if you're the Phillies as of late. But win a series against, for whatever reason, against teams not named the Dodgers, against teams not named the Washington Nationals. You have really struggled to win a series, win a game even. So Garrett Stubbs gets the start. Now, this is where I differentiate with this. I go, you want to argue about philosophy or you want to argue about result? Because you could have a horrible philosophy, like I believe that Rob Thomson had today with JT Realmuto, taking his steaming hot bat out of the lineup and saying, let's go with Garrett Stubbs. The philosophy was flawed. The result was perfect. That's fine. That happens sometimes where it's a bad philosophy, but a great result. Today, Rob Thomson was rewarded by his backup catcher, Garrett Stubbs, with a career high. After J. Realmuto got a career high with 7 ribbies last night, Garrett Stubbs goes out there and gets a career high 4 hits in the game. And the Phillies take home the victory. I didn't realize that Garrett Stubbs' career high for hits in a singular game was 2. That's it. It was 2. I would have thought somewhere along the line of his career he had like a 3-hit game or something like that. But not so much. Not so much. 2 hits in a game was Garrett Stubbs' career high. 4 for 4 with a hit by a pitch. What a day for Garrett Stubbs. Let's get into it. 3 big things. Number 3. We're going to go 3-1 again. This is the new format. I like it like this. 3-1. Number 3. Nothing to do with the offense. Let's talk about Kolby Allard and what he was able to do for you tonight. Not just this afternoon. Not just this afternoon, but what he's been able to do for you in his more or less 4 starts for the Phillies so far this year. Today, just to look at it, 5 innings, 2 runs. 5 innings, 2 runs. Kolby Allard in the 4 starts now for the Philadelphia Phillies, all right? Had 5 innings against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He only allowed 1 run. Had that sort of start against the Mariners that Orion Kerkering actually opened before handing it to Kolby Allard. He got 4 innings in that one, allowing one run. The only game that he allowed more than more than a run other than today. So more than 2 runs in a game was against the Cleveland Guardians. And if you remember, he was cruising right along in that game and made one unfortunate mistake. And that mistake ended up being a 3-run home run to tie the game in the 4th inning against Noel of the Guardians. And that was really the only thing. Other than that, you're talking about a guy who, when called upon for the Phillies, has gone out there and dealt a 27-year-old lefty coming up out of the minors to join the Phillies at the big league level and just go out there and find a way to help the big league club win. And he gets another 5 innings under his belt today, and he goes out there and allows just 2 runs in total. He's 2-0 now on the season for the Phils. He gives up 8 hits. Both runs were earned, and he strikes out 5. You needed somebody to step up there in this case. And every time he's been asked to go out there and step up for the Phils, he's done it. And he did it again today. And you know what? As we realize, especially with Ranger Suarez just coming back into the mix of things, starting pitching for the Phillies, good quality starting pitching has come at a high cost. And it's been few and far between over the last month and a half. And you have gotten whatever you could get from a guy in a spot start situation is gravy. Credit to Kolby Allard today. Number 2, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something I hate doing, but I gotta divide when I talk about these guys here, okay? I got to divide a little bit here. I got to go with number 2 and talk about the entire lineup, with the exception of one guy in particular who I think you know is going to be number 1. But look at this lineup. Weston Wilson was put in late in the game, didn't get an at-bat. So I'm still going to say this. Everyone who got an at-bat, other than Edmundo Sosa, unfortunately, every starter got a hit. Every starter got a hit. I will take that to the bank. And Edmundo Sosa went up against a position player pitching, which was ridiculous, and we'll get to that. But you look at the starters in this, from Schwarber to Stubbs, obviously, everybody hitting this lineup. And how fantastic is it that you see Kyle Schwarber come up there with 3 RBIs. You see Nick Castellanos go up there. He got his 17th home run of the season, a 2-run shot. I will take that from him. Thank you very much. First pitch slider he put out of the ballpark. And Alec Bohm came up with 2 base knocks in the game today with 3 ribbies as well. I will take that every time. Marsh goes up there, gets you 2 hits. Rojas gets you 2 hits. Multi-hit games galore for this Phillies lineup. The guys that I'm most excited about in terms of your starters, Kyle Schwarber looks like he really broke out of it in this series, and he needed that against the Royals, most definitely. Turner did get another hit today, which was good. Had a couple of hits last night. That's also good. JT Realmuto needed to start swinging a hot bat again. You saw him do that last night. Then you see Alec Bohm, unfortunately, had a little bit of a struggle last night when everybody else was hitting except for Alec Bohm. And then you see guys like Johan Rojas hit, Brandon Marsh hit, and Nick Castellanos gets that long ball. This lineup needs that confidence booster, without question. Any little thing that could go their way can be the first domino to fall. And we have been asking for that for quite some time, and we have beat the conversation into the ground of, are the Phillies back? Back to what exactly has been my question? Back to beating bad teams? Well, the Royals are not a bad baseball team. The Royals are 72-58 now. Royals are a good ball club. Bobby Witt Jr. somehow magically went 0 for 2 against Taijuan Walker, for crying out loud, even though the Phillies lost that game. But the Royals are a good baseball team, and the Phillies just took 2 or 3 from them. That has got to feel good in that clubhouse. That has got to feel great on the bus ride. That's got to feel great on the plane ride home. And now you're going to go up against another team that you got a little bit of history with, in the Houston Astros, coming to Philadelphia for a 3-game set before you face yet again the Atlanta Braves, who, by the way, did lose today. And now the Braves are 6 games behind the Phillies again in the NL East. I will celebrate that. I will enjoy every ounce of it. But to see this lineup stack back-to-back 11-run games, I will take that. To see this lineup tonight, or this afternoon, go out there with 16 hits, I will take that. To see this lineup after last night, compounding the problem for the Kansas City Royals, and coming away from that game yesterday with another huge game offensively, with not just the 11 runs, but 18 hits, I will take. And to know that Kyle Schwarber is swinging the bat a lot better, Trey Turner is swinging the bat better, Alec Bohm, Castellanos, Marsh, and Johan Rojas. Oh, I'll take it. You know, this is funny. I actually watched the game with my pops, watched the game with my dad, came over to hang out with the kids, watched a little baseball with me, his favorite child. I only have one brother, so it's slim pickings anyway. But anyway, he pointed something out to me that I didn't even realize. Johan Rojas This is something if you would have told me before the season, I would have thought crazy. Tell me this, I would have thought you're bonkers, okay? Johan Rojas is now hitting 246 on the season. Better than Brandon Marsh and better than Bryson Stott. If you would have told me that before the year, I would have said you're crazy. Johan Rojas, 246 on the year, is what he's hitting right now after his 2-hit performance today. All right, so Stubbs, Kolby Allard, the rest of the lineup, and then the guy that I was against starting today's game. I don't need to rattle off the numbers for you again about JT Realmuto and what he did for you in game 2 of this series. But in game 3 of this series, and I saw the lineup card before the game, and I saw JT Realmuto was not in the lineup card before the game, I thought, what is Rob Thomson doing? You have a cold line. I know you had 11 runs last night, but the reason you had 11 runs is because 7 of them were driven in by JT Realmuto. And you mean to tell me you're going to tell him to sit down on the bench and Garrett Stubbs gets to strap on the gear? What? So Garrett Stubbs goes up there, gets a little single down the right field line. All right, there, Garrett Stubbs. Way to be there, Garrett Stubbs. Good for you. You're on. Oh, sorry. The first hit of the game was down the right field line for the triple. How dare I? Leads off the 3rd inning. It's a scoreless game. Garrett Stubbs leads it off with a 1-2 fastball that he got, and he took it 7 pitches into the at-bat, and then he roped it down the right field line. Roped it down the right field line, and then Garrett Stubbs started doing that wide stride that he has where his arms are flailing all over the place. And he's rounding second, and he's smelling a triple. Oh, he's smelling that triple, and it is stinky. And he's rounding second base, and he legs it out to get to third. He's got a leadoff triple to start it. How about that for Garrett Stubbs? Very next batter, Kyle Schwarber steps up there, gets the RBI double. It's a 1-0 game. Then Harper comes up after Turner grounded out to third. Harper comes up, grounds out to second. Alec Bohm gets his first ribby of the night. He gets the RBI single to right field to bring in Schwarber. It's a 2-0 game, and then Castellanos strikes out. But a 2-run 3rd inning all started off the bat in a 7-pitch at bat from Garrett Stubbs, who started it off with the triple. Not too shabby. Let's fast forward a little bit. Let's get to later in the ball game. In the 4th inning, the very next inning, the Phillies still scoring runs after the Royals got one back with Bobby Witt Jr.'s home run, 441 feet off Kolby Allard. Holy Stromboli. Garrett Stubbs steps up to the plate with an infield single to Stott, a walk to Brandon Marsh. Rojas tried a bunt attempt. They ended up gunning down Bryson Stott at second base. So Stubbs steps up there with 1 out. He lays down a picturesque, beautiful bunt down the first base line, and he beats it out. So now he got 2 runners on. Got bases loaded with 1 out. Schwarber goes up there, and he gets the RBI ground out, bringing Marsh in, and then Turner ends it, flying out to first base. 3-1 ball game at that point, but the second hit of the night was recorded by Stubbs on the bunt single. Triple and a single. Then later in the ball game, Garrett Stubbs steps up again after 2 hits, back-to-back hits with 1 out in the 6th inning by Marsh and Rojas. Stubbs gets the double into left field. Marsh and Rojas score. It's a 5-2 game. Then Schwarber comes up and he drives in a run. He drove in 2 runs. Stubbs only drove in 1. They messed that up in the scoring. And then it ended up being a 6-2 game after the 6th inning, and the Phillies were off to the races. Later on, Stubbs would get another at-bat, just missing home runs. 4 pitches that he got that were in the middle of the plate in what I thought was going to be his last at-bat in the 8th inning. He roped a couple of them and had to settle for another single. Wah, wah. He was a home run shy. Home run shy of the cycle. Just missed 4 pitches out over the middle of the plate. All of them sliders. Just missed it. Phillies ended up still tacking on some more runs there in the 8th inning, which was great. And then Stubbs got another at-bat. Now, here's the deal. Garrett Hampson, a position player for the Royals, faces Garrett Stubbs in that final at-bat. Let me tell you who public enemy number 1 is, okay? Garrett Sampson. Because Garrett is facing Garrett, and Garrett was not very nice to Garrett. Garrett hit Garrett, and I don't like it. Hampson throws inside to Garrett Stubbs. I'm like, is he trying to hit him on purpose just to not give him the cycle? Is he trying to hit him on purpose? Really? And then the next pitch in a 2-pitch at bat, he hits him. And Stubbs looked like he wanted to decline the penalty, basically. Stubbs was standing there in the batter's box, and he's just like, I'm not going to do it. Nope, don't want it. And they're like, you kind of have to. He's like, all right, fine, but it's against my will. What was it, 58 miles per hour? That pitch that plunked off Stubbsy's leg? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, if you ask moi. I got to find out. I think it's 58 miles per hour, that final pitch in the at-bat to Stubbies. That sucked. 57 miles per hour. Bush League. Absolutely Bush League. One more highlight from Garrett Stubbs' afternoon. I forget what inning it was. I want to say it was the third inning. I did record it. I don't think I put it. I think it was against Garcia was at the plate, and Allard threw a pitch high and outside. And Stubbs was the other thing was Stubbs was lining up for it high and outside, and Stubbs, bless his heart, tried to frame the pitch, and he brought it literally a plate and a half, maybe 2.5 square plates from high and away to high and tight. He brought it in trying to frame that pitch. And I thought, you know what? If I'm a pitcher, if my catcher doesn't have that energy, he ain't my battery mate. You know what I'm saying? But the Phillies get the 11. Oh, that's what I'm missing. Oh, I thought this looked weird. There we go. Hey, we're doing things. First day on the job. Scoozy. There it is. Yeah, Garrett Stubbs 4 for 4. And there's my nice little graphic that I spent time making for you guys. But yeah, Garrett Stubbs makes it happen, baby. Garrett Stubbs. Wrong philosophy, wonderful result. Wrong philosophy, wonderful result. Either way, I'll take it. When we come back, we'll take a look at some other heroes of today's ball game and also get your thoughts on this one and what the Phillies got going on next. Back in a few here, Locked On Sports Philadelphia and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Back in a few. My name is Mark Farzetta. Like and subscribe. Back in a second. SupplyHouse.com. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades at SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get an expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every trade master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade professionals already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM. Or you can also order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com, SupplyHouse.com. Thank you so much once again for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia your first listen every day. As for your second listen, enjoy Locked On MLB podcast with host Paul Sully Sullivan here daily to provide national expertise with his trademark humor to help you get you ready for MLB postseason play once we get through the dog days of summer. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB. That's Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Before we get into the chat check, there's been a guy that's been really looking to break out of things as of late. A guy that has been struggling throughout the entire season, and he has not been able to find his way to the other side of the struggles. And every time there's a little glimmer of hope, he goes right back down in the tank, unfortunately. And that man's name is Garrett Stubbs. Or excuse me, that man's name is Bryson Stott. I got so much on Garrett Stubbs on the brain right now. Bryson Stott came into this series, and he was struggling. Struggled in Atlanta, struggled in the home series against the Nationals. I mean, really, to break it down would be a long time because he has been struggling all season long. To see him have a very brief stretch, but good stretch, another hit today, 4 hits last night, a modest 4-game hitting streak going for himself where he's seen his average jump up a little over 10 points. 10 points exactly, as a matter of fact. Whatever gets him going, I believe he is their best option. And what could be a huge threat to him is, of course, if Edmundo Sosa ends up really start to hit again for the Phillies. Stubbs, for me, is a guy that I know there's a better brand of baseball. I don't think what we saw in the first 4.5 months of last year was abnormal. I don't think that's going to be, I think that's more of who he is than the guy we have really seen over the last year and really September also. Because last September, he struggled. That's where his struggles really started. And this year, he has not been able to find that groove. And if you look through his entire season, that really dictates it. The numbers really do dictate it. You're talking about so far this year, his best batting average in a single month was 265. That ain't good. And going into today, you're talking about a guy over the last week that was batting 400. Now, again, that counts a 4-hit night last night. But now you're talking about a guy that hopefully coming out of this series, not only just the Phillies winning the series against a good ball club in the Royals, but also Bryson Stott starting to find that swing. That's what I'll be rooting for when the Phillies now have the Houston Astros for 3 at home and 4 against the Atlanta Braves. Let's take a look at the chat and see how you guys are doing on this fine Saturday afternoon. John Marinelli, ring the bell. IBH, good afternoon, everyone. Really rooting for Stubbs to get the cycle. As was I. Garrett Hampson. Public enemy number 1. You guys are watching the game at this point. I always forget that you guys are watching the game while you're chatting. I like it. Would be nice if we could continue this momentum into the upcoming week versus the Astros and the Braves, says Morgan Landy. I'm on board with you, Christopher Michael. Going to be a great win, but Trey's double plays and continuing to swing at the first pitch driving me nuts. I just had this conversation because my dad is someone to describe an old school guy. We're watching the game together, as I mentioned. And I like the Charlie Manuel phrase, by the way, of it's not old school, it's good school. We need to normalize good school. We need to get rid of old school and just be like, no, he's doing the right thing. Like, that's why are you calling it old? That should still very much be in fashion. But anyway, I'm watching Trey Turner, and of course, he swings early in counts often. I believe Trey Turner is a guy that's much better when he gets deep in counts. Nick Castellanos, as much as I don't like it, he's a much better hitter when he's hitting early in counts. Same thing for Alec Bohm. So one of the things that we got into while we were watching the game today together was the idea of Nick Castellanos swinging early, Trey Turner swinging early. It'd be so much better if they were patient. And I'm just like, Alec Bohm rakes when he's hitting early in counts. Nick Castellanos usually rakes. Like every time he does something good, it's because he swung at the first pitch or he swung at the first 3 pitches, one of them, you know? Or he's down 0-2 and then he gets his hit, whatever the case might be. I really feel like those guys, as much as it's not aesthetically pleasing, it works for him. Trey Turner, it doesn't work when he swings early. Trey Turner seems to be the exact opposite. He's better when he's working counts, and then he capitalizes on an opportunity on the 6th or 7th pitch of the at-bat. That mojo is something that is controlled and contained over a long period of time by Nick Castellanos and Alec Bohm. They live and die with doing that. Trey Turner seems to live a lot more when he goes longer in counts. And I think that's a guy who's been a top-of-the-order guy throughout the vast majority of his career, including a leadoff hitter. He's a guy that I think forces situations more so than other guys. Ian Cormigal, this series win has cured my insomnia. Ian, have a good sleep tonight. Christopher, what's going on? Oh, wait. Okay, normally, are you saying that like you don't care? It's putting you to sleep. It's boring. I would hope not. It's 22 runs in 2 games. Christopher Michael, position player where Stubbs could actually have a chance to hit at a home run and he gets hit. Shame. Position player where Stubbs could actually hit the home run and he gets hit. I agree. Yeah, that's stupid. Beanball, top of the cycle. Beanball to stop the cycle. Yeah. Maybe undefeated when everyone is starting pitching line gets hit. Goddamn, baby. Evelyn. What's going on, Evelyn? Love that name. Who thinks Stubbs was hit on purpose? Everyone? Everyone thinks he was? I'll raise 2 hands for the person that doesn't know. I'll cover for that person because I'm a nice guy. Johnson Wall, what's going on? Maybe the lip of the grass was the saving grace of the season. I told you last night. I told you from the people that brought you Marsh's. I'm not going to do it again, but you guys know what I'm doing. Everybody hits. Woohoo. So thank you, buddy Christ. Faxi, what's going on? On base, on balls. Phillies pitching staff surely helps keep a 3-homer game in check. Okay. Yeah, that was wild. I was thinking of over the last 2 nights. Now, the 2 3-run home runs by JT were huge, obviously. And then today, the Phillies in 11 runs just had one home run. And that was the 2-run homer by Castellanos. All right, I got 2 box scores up in my notes here. That can't be. Stop that, Farzetta. What are you doing? What are you doing? First time running a computer? All right. Castellanos, yeah, it was a 2-run home run. But yeah, 11 runs, and only 2 of them came from the long ball, babe. Bam Man 100. Stubbs almost going for the cycle out there. Yep, look at that. Farzi's so delirious, he still thinks it's Saturday. Yeah, probably. You probably got me on that one. Thank you, MP. Faxi, what's going on? Swinging at the first pitch keeps the pitcher on his toes. I hate giving them that easy first strike down the middle. Fair enough. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. When we come back, we will take a look at where the Phillies are headed after this, because it doesn't get much easier. Talk about that in a few. You're Locked On Philadelphia Postcast, Locked On Phillies Postcast, and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Back in a second. How awesome is FanDuel? I'll tell you how awesome FanDuel is. FanDuel's pretty awesome. Spectacular, even. You've heard here at Locked On, we're talking a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, we have something a little different for you. Check this out. Now, like right now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers, did you hear me? All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. What? Yes. Then with YouTube TV's base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to download America's #1 sportsbook. Again, now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. How incredible is that? And don't forget about the amazing odds you can get on FanDuel. Like right now, the LA Dodgers are at +320 to win the World Series. The Phillies have jumped up to +500, second best odds. The New York Yankees, who, since I just said New York Yankees, Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs. They're at +550. The Orioles are at +700. Astros are at +950. Minnesota Twins are at +1600. That's the way that is looking right now. As for the big awards, you're looking at Shohei Ohtani right now in the National League, as one would assume. Now he has gone to -2300 for the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. Bryce Harper has sunk it down to +12,000. Womp, womp. That sucks. But yeah, that's the way that's looking right now on FanDuel. So pay attention to what they're offering on FanDuel and visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn. I am feeling absolutely fantastic about the Philadelphia Phillies right now. I know I shouldn't be. They still lost 2 of 3 to the Braves. They just took 2 of 3 from a very good Kansas City Royals baseball team. Now, I want the good vibes to keep on going as the Phillies come back to Citizens Bank Park to defend their home field honor against the Houston Astros, who come to town 69 nights and 60 on the season. That's what the Houston Astros got going on. Ronel Blanco will get the start. Right-handed pitcher. He's 9-6 on the season with a 3.14 ERA. That'll go down tomorrow night at 6:40 in South Philly on Fox Sports 1. Zach Wheeler will get that start. He is 12-6 on the season with a 2.73 ERA. Wheeler is coming off that start against the Braves that unfortunately ended up being a loss, a 3-1 loss. Wheeler gave up 2 runs on 6 hits and 6 innings of work in that one. As for Blanco, again, 9-6 with a 3.14 ERA, 30-year-old right-handed pitcher. He is coming off just 3 2/3, allowing 5 runs, got shelled by the Boston Red Sox, giving up 1 home run and issuing 4 walks in that game. Prior to that, he had 3 straight starts of going at least 4 innings. So that's something, allowing no more than 2 runs. So it'll be a little bit of a different story maybe when Ronel Blanco starts against Zach Wheeler tomorrow night. Looking at things that I'd like to see keep going. Obviously, the Phillies keep the good vibes going when it comes to this lineup. But as far as the Astros go, they have been a hot team in baseball, cooled off a little bit. They in that division with the oh, come on. What am I doing here? There we go. In that division with the Mariners, there was a little bit of a dogfight going on there for that division for a couple months. The Mariners have fallen behind. They're 4.5 games behind the pace right now, with the Astros going 500 over their last 10 games, winning 5-5, obviously. Seattle Mariners have dropped 8 of their last 10 as the Astros have just kept on keeping on over the Mariners. So a hot team coming into here into Philadelphia that has cooled off a little bit as of late. And hopefully the Phillies hitting their stride now will handle their business against the Astros. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, your Locked On Phillies postcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel for your Phillies and Sixers coverage as well. And coming up this NFL season, your Philadelphia Eagles postcast location as well. As for who will be your host for that, stay tuned to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. I'm sure they'll be making an announcement, or the host or hosts will be making an announcement. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you guys tomorrow, hopefully after the Phillies take game 1 against the Houston Astros. See you guys then. Bye.